Hello and welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel and you could subscribe, that would be a big help. Hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate that. Trying to build the channel up. Hit the like button. Share the video if you like it. You know, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking your time out to watch this video. So thank you very much. Okay, I was in two minds whether to do a video about the Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos fight, because on the surface it would seem to be a very straightforward defence for Lopez. Lopez is WBA, IBF and WBO champion, and he's beaten Lomachenko, which is a terrific win. It's been said that Lomachenko was a one-handed fighter because of a bad shoulder injury that night, but he didn't have to get into the ring. I don't think we should take anything away from Lopez. He beat Lomachenko and he has, I think, earned the right to call himself the best lightweight in the world. Whether he is the best lightweight in the world remains to be seen, because Devin Haney will have something to say about that and Lomachenko wants a rematch. But in the meantime, he's got a defence against George Kambosos, the Australian, and let me be honest, I have not seen a great deal of Kambosos. I've seen the Lee Selby fight, which he won on a split decision. And I've seen the Mickey Bay fight. Or did I just see highlights of that? I've definitely seen at least most of that fight, I think. And with George Kambosos, nothing jumps out at you. It's not like you say, oh, he's particularly good at that or that or that. To flip that on its head, nothing springs out at you where you say, well, he's bad at that, at that, at that. I mean, he's got, you know, decent enough footwork. He's very aggressive. His chin is, for the most part, untested. Selby wasn't a big hitter. Bay never really tore up any trees. The Mickey Bay fight, by the way, that was a split decision win as well. So the only two names on his record are Mickey Bay and Lee Selby, and they've both been split decision wins. From what I could tell from the Bay fight, I didn't score it as I was watching it. He deserved to win that, and I thought he deserved to win the Selby fight. But if you look down the rest of his resume, there isn't really much there. Not a bad fighter, but you wouldn't ever expect him to reach elite level. So let's move on to Lopez, who, you know, I'm sure you've seen fight quite regularly. He had that win over Lomachenko. Prior to that, he stopped Richard Comey in 2 rounds, which was an absolutely terrific win. He was taken the distance against Nakatani, the Japanese fella, whose first name escapes me. Masayoshi, I think it was. Masayoshi Nakatani. May have that wrong. But he won a unanimous decision, and it was wide, but Nakatani made things slightly awkward for Lopez. And this was the fight before the Comey fight, and I think that gave people a feeling that maybe Comey could win against Lopez, because Comey's not a bad fighter. But he was stopped in 2 rounds. That was his first stoppage defeat of his career. So, as far as I can tell, Lopez is clearly superior in all elements of the game, all facets of the game. Obviously, he's got much more power than Kambosos. Better variety of punches from what I can see. Probably more intelligent when it comes to aggressive fighting. Kambosos is, I wouldn't say he was just a raw slugger, but he's more predictable. I would say that Lopez has got a higher ring IQ. He knows when to throw what punches at what time better than Kambosos. Kambosos kind of outworked Selby. He was being more industrious, seemed to want it more, was more aggressive. Selby tried to do his slick boxing thing, but didn't throw enough punches. Selby's never been that exciting, but kind of clinical. But it wasn't enough against Kambosos. And I think Kambosos should have had a unanimous decision on that fight. So, if Lopez is better in all departments, can Kambosos win? I suppose anything's possible, but there is one little caveat that is worth mentioning. Not for the first time, I'm not the first person to mention this, I'm sure, and that is the issue of weight when it comes to Teofimo Lopez. Because I remember watching the weigh-in for the Lomachenko fight, and he looked very, very thin, very, very gaunt. Going the distance against Nakatami, was that a sign of the weight, where he didn't quite have enough energy or pop in his punches to get rid of the Japanese fella? Had he not landed a very big punch against Commey in the second round and the fight had continued into the second half of the round, would Commey have been able to come on strong? Would Lopez not making the weight or struggling to make the weight, would that have come into play? I don't know. But I do remember Lloyd Honeyghan going to fight Donald Curry in America and being given no chance, much in the same way that Kambosos is given no chance, and beating up a completely weight-drained Donald Curry, beating him up for 6 rounds, and then Curry caught on his stool, or he was pulled out by his corner. And that's one example. That's probably the best example I can think of. Very similar. An elite fighter, Curry, who they talked about putting Curry in with Marvin Hagler, jumping up 2 weight divisions to Marvin Hagler. Thank God that never happened. But along comes Honeyghan, good domestic record, won the European title with a 3-round knockout of Gianfranco Rossi, had a bit of ability, much in the same way that Kambosos has. Went in there with Curry, no hope given, beats the guy up and stops him. And then it wasn't just down to the weight, but the weight played a huge part. Is the same thing going to happen with Lopez and Kambosos? And some of you may say, well, yeah, but how do you know he's weight drained? Well, we don't. But watching the interviews with his father, who trains him, Teofimo Sr., he actually used that word, drained. He said, yeah, my son's been drained at the weight for 2 years. But it doesn't matter because he hits so hard. Because, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but, he hits so hard. He's better than these guys. He can beat these guys. He's almost saying he can beat these guys if he's weight drained. That's a dangerous game to play. In one interview, Lopez was talking about eventually ending up at middleweight. And his father, who, shall we say, is a slightly on the eccentric side, if you know what I mean, very fiery character, short fuse and all the rest of it. He was saying, no, my son can go up to super middle. My son is great. My son will wipe you out in a round, he said to Kambosos. And Teo Jr. said, yeah, he said the same thing. This is going to be over in 1 round. Is that possible? I suppose it is possible if you've got his type of power and Kambosos wades in. Yeah, I mean, I can... Unless Lopez is truly drained at the weight and is, reeling around the ring after 3 rounds, gasping for air, I don't see any way that Kambosos can win, not realistically. There was a fight at the weekend between Hosea Burton and Dan Aziz. And again, 6'3" light heavyweight Hosea Burton looked absolutely dead at the weight. And so it proved in the ring. He didn't seem to have any snap in his punches. He looked thin, like gaunt, and his legs didn't seem that steady. And Aziz put the heat on him, beat him up, and I think it was over in the 7th round, just beat him up. The guy didn't have any strength to even tie Aziz up. It almost looked like man against boy stuff, even though Hosea Burton's 33, I think. You can't overlook the issue of making the weight correctly and of being healthy at the weight. So with that in mind, a little asterisk by this prediction, I'm going to say, okay, this for one last time, Lopez makes lightweight. Realistically, he's not weight drained, and I will pick him to win against Kambosos by knockout or technical knockout in 5 rounds or less. That's my prediction. I don't see how Kambosos can win if it's a fit, strong Lopez, because he doesn't even have 1 punch knockout power. He's only got 10 knockouts in, I don't know how many, what's he got, 19 wins, 10 knockouts, lower level opposition mostly. No, I don't see how Kambosos wins. So that's my prediction. Teofimo Lopez to retain his titles in 5 rounds or less. I'll pick the 5th round, what the hell. But it could be over before then. Interesting. It'll be interesting if it goes into the later rounds, but I don't see that happening. What do you think? What's your prediction? What do you think? Do you think Kambosos got any chance at all? Don't forget, we wrote off Kiko Martinez the other week and he absolutely flattened Kid Galahad. So it can happen. It can happen. But let me know what you think. Again, if you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks for watching. And you take care of yourselves. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.